Yo, what is up, y'all? Travis here. I am back for a new review, for the new project from 21 Pilots. I kind of forgot for a second who I was covering. But yeah, so I'm back. 21 Pilots. They have dropped a brand new project. Um my thoughts on this project. Oh, well, first off, I kind of wanted to say 21 Pilots. 21 Pilots for me has been kind of hit or somewhat hit or miss a little bit. I feel like some of their projects, I feel like some of their projects have been kind of like iffy. I just haven't really been a huge fan of theirs. Um, Now Trench was a very solid album. I feel like they really did a solid job of like blending the genres. Um, but I think some of their other stuff hasn't been that great. Just for myself, I haven't been a huge fan of some of their other shit. But like for example, the previous project before this, I think was called Clancy. I feel like that project was had some okay songs, but I think overall that project was just not that great. Um, but they have dropped a new project here, and I think this project was actually very solid. I think this project is probably not quite Trench, but I think because there are a couple songs on here that are kind of weren't my shit, weren't something I enjoyed, but I think this was their best album since Trench. Um, Throughout their career, they've kind of told a story of like they've told a story throughout their career through each album of just their own mental health and their own mental issues, and they've kind of created a story from that basically tells a story of like mental health as a whole. I think that was very well done. I think this project kind of concludes the story though. This project ended that whole that story. It feels like this kind of was the conclusion to their whole mental health story. I think this was them finally coming to terms on how to handle it, how to kind of balance it out. Um, this was their kind of story of basically how of telling their audience on how to finally cope with mental health issues. And I thought they kind of concluded the whole story here very effortlessly. I think they actually had a solid job of like ending that whole story. Um, but I think just and sonically, I think sonically throughout this project, this was a truly well done job of them. They had that typical sound where they blend the genres of of like hip hop, rock, uh, indie, somewhat. And they kind of had that here, but I think sonically, not necessarily saying every song sounded great, but like for example, that very first song, I think it was called "City with Walls." Amazing track sonically, storytelling. That summed up their whole career because that concluded their story. I think that showed exactly what they can offer sonically. Um, And I think the third track, I think it was called the Drum Song or something. Sorry, I am horrible at track titles, so sorry. But yeah, that concluded. I think that song as well showed exactly what they can do. But City Walls, the very first track, showed that. And I think throughout the project, they were kind of showing the different genres. They kind of blend and all that. So I think sonically, they still had that same sound that they've always had. I think this one had, if I had to say, I think this project had a lot more indie, kind of softer songs than some of their previous albums have had. But I think they really had a very good job of blending the of genres like hip hop, rock, indie. Just this they've been doing that their entire career. But I think they continue that here. But I think the storytelling, the songwriting here was very good. Um, yeah, I think this project was a very solid album. Um, I think there's a couple tracks towards the end that yeah we're kind of hit or miss. It is not necessarily saying the songs are bad. It's just I just feel like some of the sounds necessarily didn't necessarily work. Some of the songs towards the end, but I do think that they really had a good job of storytelling here, showing exactly what they're capable of sound wise. Storytelling and songwriting on this project was great. Um, that's why I'm saying I think while this project was not quite Trench, I think this project was their best album since Trench. Um, so so I enjoyed the project. We'll be saving some songs because I think some of these songs are actually really good. Um, and I think like just this overall theme, especially when it comes to Tyler. I think Tyler's vocals here on this project were very good as well. I think this is some of the best vocals Tyler has had since for a while. So yeah. But that's kind of my thoughts, my review. Y'all comment y'all's thoughts down below. How did y'all feel about this project? Did y'all enjoy it? Did y'all not? Explain why down below. Y'all comment y'all's favorite tracks, of course, and all that stuff. Like, subscribe, and share. Join my channel. Great stuff to come. Stay tuned. I have a lot more to come, so pay attention to that. I have great stuff coming. I am doing great stuff for the channel. So subscribe, like, share, comment. Helps the channel out. So, yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys soon. Have a great night, a great week. Stay safe, happy, great, all that stuff. And I will see you guys soon. Good eye.